Hi guys, welcome back to the First Start Drift Developments YouTube channel. Well, I'm hoping this one's going to be pretty cool because we've been accepted to drive the S13 at the Drift Games Invitational. So the Drift Games Invitational, I believe, used to be called the Drift Games Bash, but unfortunately I believe drivers literally treated it as a bash, and unfortunately there was a lot of damage done to the track, so they called it Invitational, so you now have to apply to actually go to this event, which we did in the S13, and we've been accepted. So the car does need a bit of work, but I am going to start this video here. I'm going to start this video on what we're doing to the car. I mean, the car's been pretty damn good, but after speaking to the legend Martin Richards, he kind of confirmed what I was thinking about, a rear end change, geo change, and adding a rear anti-roll bar. So today I'm going to start the video here. We're going to look at how I'm going to fit this anti-roll bar, and then we're going to move on to Mondello. Before I do anything though, I've got to push all these out. Guys, how we doing? So, rear anti-roll bar. I'm not sure if I'm in the frame or not, but this is made by Rally Designs and it's listed for Sierra. I kind of figured the weight of the back of a Sierra, probably a tad heavier than the weight at the back of this, but obviously this is a lot heavier at the back than it would normally be, so I kind of thought, you know, I've not put no maths into it, I've just bought it because it was cheap. But getting this to fit the car isn't easy. My initial plan was to make some supports off the crash frame and send it like that. I'm hoping you can see that, but it gets very complicated with the exhaust. So, and this is quite narrow, so it doesn't really work that great. That's too far away, coming in. That's kind of in line with those wishbone holes. Actually pretty good, but the exhaust, you know, it would have to be down there, because my original plan of being back here, one, that puts more weight behind the rear wheels, which I don't want. Two, makes it harder to get diff ratios swapped. Three, exhaust is a nightmare because this is exactly where the silencer would sit. So I'm thinking now of having it here. Just, I don't know if you can see where it hits the exhaust there. Just wish the exhaust was a bit higher. Well, I'm going to continue to play with that and see how we get on. Alright, so I've worked out that from this anti-roll bar link arm to this anti-roll bar link arm, my anti-roll bar is 80mm too wide. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to work out how to narrow it. Now what I've done is I've laid the anti-roll bar on a piece of wood with some paper. I've drawn around it, okay, all the way along. And this is going to be my template. So my next thing to do will be to measure, obviously I want 80mm total too wide, so I'll come in 40mm. I'll carry that arc round, and then from this, let's say for instance it's there, I'll draw a line at 90 degrees to the main tube, up, and that will tell me where I need the bend. So that is where my rose joint attaches. This is my fixed point. I'm going to create an arc. The next thing I want to do is measure 40mm. That's my 40mm. And this is on the inside of the bar, yeah? The inside of this bar here. 90 degrees to the main torque tube. There. Now that there is where I need to bend that to create my 40mm. Right guys, so I have bolted it loosely together. Obviously I've left that rod loose to replicate it having bushes in. You can see I've bent the arm. Everything sits nice. Now with the wheels hanging down, you can see I've got a fair old bit of arch. The tyre normally sits pretty level with the arch at the top, just under. That is the worst angle it will be at. So you see how the rose joint's a little bit close to here, but that is the worst. I've moved the rose joint and everything to make it like, that is the worst it's going to be. When the wheels go up, everything lines up beautiful. So I've wound the coil over right off. So everything's just kind of, yeah, I pushed that wheel right up using the stand to get my wheel height and just confirm that everything sits nice, which it does. So I'm well happy with that. Now I need to make mounts. So this kit, obviously designed for a Sierra, came with this. I'm now going to modify this to hopefully create a mount for the S13. So we've took a slice off of our Sierra mount. These ain't exactly the prettiest things in the world, but functional. Yeah, just took a slice off of that, equal all the way around. And this is what it looks like in the motor. Hopefully I can get that in a way you can see it. So that'll be welded to the subframe, and there's our bush. Something like that. Quick update. So we cut our mounts, welded them on. Can't really get a good angle on it, but the mounts are now welded to the subframe. Our bushes are on the bar. I'm going to throw a bit of paint on it and bolt it together. Theoretically, that's it done. The rear anti-roll bar completed. All I've added really is the paint to the brackets. I put some heat shrink on here because obviously where I've heated it and bent it, I've gone through the zinc plating, so a little bit of heat shrink just to makes it look a bit cool as well, doesn't it? Yeah, well happy with that. Obviously I can adjust the link heights up and down. These bars come in different strengths from Rally Designs. I need to just slightly mod the exhaust to come over the top of that now, just some small mods. And that's it. I'm extremely happy with that. Well, the exhaust didn't fit. Didn't think it would with the anti-roll bar. So I've had to cut it here and here. Put some angles onto it, get it up over the rear anti-roll bar. I mean, I don't know if you can see, but there is quite a bit of room there. I can get my fingers through it. And yeah, just to get it up and over the anti-roll bar. We've got Hayward and Scott 2 doors down, stainless steel exhaust specialists. They've kindly offered to re-TIG weld it. They actually made this system. I can't imagine they're overly impressed that I've chopped it up, but hey, it had to be done. But yeah, they've kindly offered to weld this up, so get that welded up, and I think that's the underneath of the car done. Alright guys, well we started at 10 AM Saturday morning. It's now, what time is it guys? 3 AM Sunday morning. And obviously we done the anti-roll bar and modified the exhaust, and then we got a bit carried away with modifying everything in there. So the radiator's now laying back. We've replumbed loads of stuff, done loads of aluminium welding, added some shields to improve airflow, blah, blah, blah. The boys have got all the rubber off the car, which was, well, it was pretty rough. And you guys haven't met the boys yet, so I think it's time to introduce you. Now these boys have been amazing, stay with me so many nights with the van and the car. I owe these guys a lot. But they must be a glutton for punishment, because next year, the guys are going to be pit crew for when we compete next year, which we haven't announced, but we will do at some point. So, let's introduce you. Who have we got? Who's that? Who are you? That's Lewis Connolly. Lewis works for the Waterjet Profilers, who have helped loads with this car. Lewis has got some really cool cars. He's got an X4, Z4. Yeah. Oh no, it's a Supra. Sorry, one of them Toyota Supra things. He's also got a Skyline. He's obviously got too much money. But yeah, he's been amazing. In this car here, who are you?
I'm George.
Hi, I'm George. George has been amazing. He's been here night after night helping out. George has got a supercharged IS200, and we're going to be putting a link ECU on it and some really cool stuff. So we may get that in one of these videos. That'd be a pretty cool little video.
Yes, very good.
And then over here is the most bullied man in the UK. Who are you?
Hello, my name's Brad.
This is Brad. Brad's been amazing. Brad is very good with his hands. Brad's done some really cool trick stuff on the van, and he's always here helping out with these guys. So I owe these guys loads of thank yous.
Yeah. Hurry up, the wires are getting hot.
As you can see, that went really well. I'm super happy with that. You know, one of them jobs where you just think, that went nice, you know. That was Saturday. Exhaust mocked up, ready for Haywood and Scott, who are literally there, next door to my workshop. They stainless steel tigged that exhaust up. That is actually now fitted to the car. So Saturday, you've just watched. Sunday, I had a day off, had friends around. Monday, didn't go to plan. So Monday we were supposed to be doing odds and sods on the car, just bits and bobs, had a little list. And Brad, who is sitting down there in the orange coat there, said, "What's that hole for on the bottom of your gearbox, Mark?" I said, "Oh, it's so that I can look up and inspect the clutch." And as I did that, I looked up, then this happened. Yeah, so what you just see there was the gearbox and the clutch sitting on the floor. Now, we didn't expect to be taking that out 3 days before we leave to go to Ireland, but when we looked through that inspection hole, we noticed damage to the sides of the clutch plate. Not the faces, because you can't see the faces, literally the sides. So that could only mean one thing: they were moving left and right. So we took the gearbox out, found that the spigot bearing had literally disintegrated. It was a phosphor bronze bush that I put in. I must admit, I'm honest, I'd done a bit of a bad job of it. First time doing a phosphor bronze bush, I made it too tight, so the centre bore collapsed. I then tried to ream it, didn't do a very good job. It lasted a year, but it fell apart. So we made a new one. We finished at 3:30 in the morning, putting the gearbox back in again. Everything feels amazing. Clutch feels, you kind of forget how good it used to feel as things deteriorate, but the clutch now feels amazing again. So that was Monday night. All right, guys, so it's now Tuesday night, and here we are. So we're running out of time. We've got a little list over here, just going to show you. I'm not going to read through it, but that is our list of things to do to the car. Just odds and sods, but bits to do. Oh yeah, our coolant system has been reworked, and really hoping this is going to work well. Kind of learned a little bit about how I should be doing this. It's one of them things I kind of knew it anyway, but I didn't do it, so I've just made it better. Brad, he's on the naughty step right now. He's sanding. He was on better jobs, but he broke a wing mirror, so he's on the naughty step right now. He's on the sanding duties. So if anyone's got wing mirror glasses for S13, give me a shout. In the car, there's Lewis. Here he is. Lewis is currently taking out the driver's seat.
Yep.
Why are you taking that out, Lewis?
Just change the battery.
Because some retard put the battery behind the seat, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, the battery's knackered. I let it go flat and it just does not want to take the charge. So we've got a new Odyssey battery to go in now. And Lewis is climbing around the climbing frame.
Yep.
Trying to get the seat out, which is never the easiest job in the world, is it? Due to the Brad and the wing mirror glass situation, which actually is right next to me, that was the new one. Thomas Taverner has saved us getting his genuine Ganadors, GK Tech Genuines, brewing them on now, because we can't go to Mondello and not be able to see what's behind us. Looking sick. Brad,
Yes.
Can you just talk us through what happened to the wing mirror glass?
Right, so basically what I've learned is you're supposed to apply even pressure and not two thumbs going fucking good on there. But also, what I'd like to call you out on is you said the part numbers were different. So there's a left and right. You know, because I can see you smiling, that was the right side or the left side. The opposite side to what it was supposed to
If you
go.
do that, that tells you what left is. That's it. It's 1:30 on Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, whatever you want to call it, and we are almost ready to go. One more night for some geoing, and I think we're done. I'm just going to give you a little rundown on what we've done to get ready for Mondello. In the back here, we've laid the radiator further back in a hope to catch more airflow. We've put shrouds in on the side because we believe that the hot air coming out of the back of the fan was going down the sides of the radiator. In the videos of this drifting, tyre smoke was coming heavily out of the top here. So you've got to bear in mind the only way that's going to get there is through there, and it's going to take heat with it. So that's something we've done. We've added a bleed return to the coolant tank just to remove any trapped air in the radiator. We've changed the coolant feed from the tank, used to go to this side of the rad, now goes round to that side of the rad. So the header tank's now being sucked on by the water pump. That creates the circuit. What else have we done? We have fitted an overflow to an overflow tank, which we never had before. And that is about it in the back, really. Just cleaned it, tidied it up, just made it a little bit nicer than what it was. Whilst fitting the new wheels, we found the wheel nuts are worn out. Like, there's not hardly any threads left in some of these. So Mr. Warwick has swapped the studs and the wheel bolts, or wheel nuts, for ones we had lying around the workshop because we didn't have time to buy new ones, but they're in much better condition than what these were. Fingers crossed the wheels stay in the car. Inside the car, we've added a new battery because the other one was suffering, and we've also added, if you look at that grey box mounted on the side there, a boost point, because jump starting this car was a nightmare getting to that battery behind the seat. So we now have a boost point to jump start the car or charge the car, so I'm well happy with that. Little things, eh? Under here we've got our anti-roll bar, which we've already seen, and our modified exhaust. We've actually got more ground clearance now than we had before. Well happy with that. Everything clears nice, exhaust doesn't knock on anything. Some nice work there, well happy with that. Rear brake light strip, front brake light strip reattached. No more masking tape holding them on, eh Brad?
No.
We've got our sexy new wing mirrors, thank you to Thomas Taverner, because we lost a mirror glass at Castle Combe and I couldn't get a replacement in time, so Thomas has jumped in with those. Cheers, Thomas. That elbowed pipe coming out the bulkhead there, that is the nitrous line. That nitrous line rubbed through on the sump, my fault, and Pertec kindly made us a new one. That's been fitted, so we'll now have working nitrous. Wastegate control pipe failed due to heat, and Hell Performance have kindly done us another one within 24 hours of ordering it to my door. Mega happy with that, so we should have some more boost. Obviously, as I said, guys, we had to take the gearbox out due to spigot bearing failure. That's all done now. The clutch pedal feels like brand new.
Music, babe, pretty.
Today, at First Start Drift Developments, the new pit crew learn how to change a tyre. Alright guys, how are we doing? So we've just come up to the end of the day on Sunday, and something actually really exciting for us has happened. We had a guest, and this guest came out in the car. Look who it is. It's Josh from Drift Games.